Yeah, so hey everybody, welcome back to more Danganronpa 2. You may be wondering why we are starting here, as opposed to the setup for Monokuma Rock. Unfortunately, recording kind of flubbed up, and I have a save right here. And I just thought we could just start here. I haven't been spoiled on too much, only about 5 minutes of the trial, I guess, overall. So, don't worry, still gonna have that fun, blind fun. But that's the thing of it. You know, this kind of stuff happens. Plus, the intro of Let's Go Into the Rock is never anything too interesting, except for that one time when Monokuma turned into a muscle-bound dude. All it means is that I know the first 5 minutes of this.
Now then, let's be
Ooh.
Oh my, Monami? My cute little sister? You're awfully quiet. What's happened to you? You've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon? Because you're a rabbit?
I saw this before. It's still funny.
Chesto!
Oh, I can see this every time forever.
One more time!
Okay, this is actually where the recording crashed, I think, so... I remember getting to about here, I made a joke about the fucking spin punch, and then shit started just falling apart. I feel like Monokuma punched my computer.
Jeez! How about this one?
I'm glad he's just keep going.
This will be my...
Oda!
Blow!
No response.
It's useless.
Please stop! I feel bad for Monomi.
You're right. Now's not the time for me to horse around with Monami. The class trial has started, after all. The victim this time is Nagito, who is attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake. Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious.
If he was killed for trying to reveal the traitor, that traitor is obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
No, that might not be it.
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call out when we were in danger. Wait. Don't tell me you're the traitor.
Don't say something so stupid! There's no way in hell I'm the traitor!
Now that's more like it. Why don't you guys hurry and start arguing already?
Oh man, it's time to start spinning. Yes, this?
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason
Then why did they
Nagito's
tape
body
his
was
mouth?
covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
Then why are they taping his mouth then? Like, it's like I'm gonna get this information
Nagito's
out of
mouth
you.
was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Leave it to Kazuichi to be retarded. Effectively, if he isn't the murderer in this, then hot damn, he's gonna live through the whole damn game. He's like Yasuhiro. Retarded.
If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that.
I'm prepared.
For what?
Ah, I just realized it. It's a trap.
Trap?
Stupid Hajime. You got caught in that trap.
What trap?
Like you
Right.
said, if Nagito's mouth was taped, you'd obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
I can't back down!
Cross swords. Yes.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention. This is how it went. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location. Then, after they killed him, they duct-taped his mouth shut. Whew, that was close, you guys. Thanks to me, you guys didn't get caught in the trap.
Let me check this. Duct tape. Yeah, well, it shows proof that he moved his mouth while wearing it. So, obviously, I use it on the third statement, I guess?
Pay attention. This is how it went down.
First, the killer
Got in. Then, after they killed him,
Fucking goddamn it. I forgot that I wasn't on the first statement anymore. To be honest, don't like these sequences too much, mostly because of the retreat function for it. I like the idea of fighting my way in, but the controlling the conversation thing, I don't like because I fuck it up too easily.
How is he supposed to answer? Pay attention.
this is how it
Too
went
much
down.
room for
First,
error,
the
I feel
killer
like.
tortured Nagi and got information about the bomb's location.
Then,
After they killed him, they duct taped his mouth shut.
It's not that?
pay attention.
Maybe it's the
This
second
first,
one
the
then.
killer- And got information about them.
And after they killed him,
Allow me
Basically,
to
it was
cut
leading
through
to the
those
same
words.
thing, but alright.
No, there's no doubt Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he was beat up.
what did you say?
Who cares about the duct tape? Might as well settle this with rock, paper, scissors.
We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began.
Why do you always side with Hajime? Do you have a crush on him or something?
What?
You were with us when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right? The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember?
The blood on his face came from his arm wounds, which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were even wounded.
And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth. He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape.
Perhaps the duct tape was used so he wouldn't be able to scream. Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut.
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity.
They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
Yeah, but who would have that? I don't think anyone here has the balls to do that. Not even
Then, are you
Fuyuhiko.
saying the
He's
killer
mostly
was
all
trying
talk.
to make him suffer?
Except when he slices his stomach. Bad example.
If
Fuck it.
so, it's friggin' crazy. Did they go psycho or something?
No, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard.
Bastard.
If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence.
The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence?
We can't think of any other reason.
But who could have done that? When the fire occurred, everyone in this room was gathered in front of the warehouse.
Yeah. And right after I opened the warehouse door, the flames started burning from the very back.
Which means, it is plausible to think that nobody here set the fire.
The killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
Even if it was only a coincidence, the timing was just too perfect.
Based on the pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this.
Some kind of setup? Like what?
I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
That's our Miss Sonia. You have such an amazingly high intellect. Alrighty then. Let's think about this based on what Miss Sonia thinks. Is that okay, Miss Sonia?
Damn right it is!
What? Fucking, she needs to calm down. She needs to stop flexing her bones. Faux show.
The direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
They probably just threw the lighter.
based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Wait, I think I got it. Because I was trying to think of, I randomly picked a bullet. And I'm like, okay, what would the panels have to do with in the case? And it actually seems like, what if they tipped over and knocked it? Yeah, see? Because they're all in like that. So you just knock them over in a row. And they just domino the damn thing.
Maybe they used invisible thread.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Oops. Didn't mean to use it there.
Crap!
I hate that you restart me from the beginning. Come on. You don't have to do that.
Did they use the
How
oil
dare
as
you?
just threw it based on the shape of that oil? It can stand upright. If they tipped over the light, it could have ignited the... Some way? Maybe they used invisible...
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Or perhaps opening the door caused.
I agree with that.
Opening the door knocked them over, so we set it up. In a way.
I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
Just as I thought, it was the wind pressure. A dust devil blown here from glorious Japan!
No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels. A huge number of tipped-over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right? It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were laying on top of each other in a single line. Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin.
Does that mean anything?
The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect.
A domino effect. You mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over?
In place of those tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels. So when we opened the warehouse door, the first panel toppled into the second. And from there, they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
But wouldn't it be obvious that those big panels were falling over?
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse, so we wouldn't notice them.
So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
And one more thing. There was something else the killer did to hide the domino effect, right?
Audio. Use that dumb, like, Latin chanting music.
I see! You're talking about the MP3 player, right? That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse masked the sound of the falling panels.
That's it. So the strange sound was actually the sound of the panels falling.
But those sounds weren't the only strange thing, right? Looking back on it, it was also strange when we opened the door to the warehouse.
Oh, she was having issues opening it because the door was being held down by the panels.
Ah, so the door was being blocked by a Monokuma panel.
And when we opened the door, the domino effect started, and the falling panels eventually reached the lighter.
Yeah, and that's how the warehouse caught on fire. At least, that's how it looks.
You don't look so sure.
At the time, Akane mentioned that she could barely open the door.
Because the panel was blocking it, right?
But the blocked doorway, there wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right?
Is that a problem?
It's a major problem. I mean, that door was the only entrance to the warehouse.
Problem she's talking about is... Oh, we couldn't take any merchandise. Can't believe you actually like that black and white cat mascot. I'm a bear, damn it. Problem she's talking about is the killer couldn't have left.
I see!
It's the only exit.
If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened, the killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right?
Now that you mention it.
Does that mean they were hiding inside?
Who? We were all outside the warehouse, you know.
Based on the patterns up until now, I believe some kind of setup was used.
You don't have to think so hard. There's actually only one person who could have possibly done this.
You don't mean...
He wouldn't do a suicide, right? Not a suicide that ridiculous.
What do you mean?
Like, suicides make sense, you know. Like, the Sakura suicide makes sense, right? The hanging thing that could have happened with Ibuki but wasn't it. Like, it was believable that, oh, she's gullible, I'll just order her to hang herself because that'll save people or some shit. But he would have had to stab himself multiple times in the legs. I just noticed his X is different. I don't want to believe he did that. Maybe he did to be a dick. Maybe he did to make the case harder, because Nagito must be the cancer that I can never get rid of.
This is my answer.
Well, there's your answer.
What if it was Nagito?
Why'd you bring him up? He's the victim, you know.
He wasn't just the victim. Maybe.
Huh?
Not just the victim? What does that mean?
He was the victim. And he was the perpetrator, too. Maybe.
Are you saying this was a suicide? Don't be stupid. His body was covered in torture wounds. Or did you already forget? Are you saying those were all self-inflicted?
But Nagito might do something like that, don't you think?
Don't. No, he wouldn't.
That's not the issue. He was tied up, remember? Even for a creep like Nagito, it'd be impossible for him to tie up his own arms and legs.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, as long as you understand.
It seems we need to discuss how Nagito was able to tie himself up.
Oh my god.
Need to discuss?
He's like, is this shit really happening right now? I wish my ears got cut so I wouldn't have to hear this.
That's not necessary at all. No matter how much you think about it, it's clearly impossible.
Burned rope. Well, if we're talking about tying it down, first off, I'll go burned rope and immediately pause. Obviously, it's got to be something related to it. Oh, this is obvious. That arm isn't being tied. Like, the part... It's not. It's essentially a fancy bracelet. He does have the knife going through his hand, but... How the fuck did he stab his hand?
Actually tie up your own arms and legs.
Okay, good,
No,
that
that's
works.
wrong.
I'm like, there's a yellow text, I'm just gonna mash and hope it works.
Hold on a sec. Isn't that premise flawed?
I'm glad I'm doing well. That last case was pretty painful.
What? I mean, it's no mistake that his arms and legs were...
No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms. The rope on his right arm was completely burnt up. Based on that, you can't say he was tied up.
Mm-hmm.
That was just burned by the fire. He should have been tied up before then.
It burned because of the fire. Like you said, it might look like that. But that was part of the trap. There's concrete evidence that proves it.
Proof that the burnt rope on Nagito's right arm is a trap. His sleeve wasn't burnt.
I see! Take a close look at his right sleeve. Even though the rope was burnt up, his sleeve wasn't burned at all. Wouldn't you agree? A burn like this, no matter how you think about it, is unnatural. That rope was burned in advance so it would look like it was burned in the fire.
Then Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right? He was able to move it freely, right?
Yeah, that should be the case.
Hajime, that's awesome! I'll let you cop a feel if you want.
Alright.
Akane, you should not give it away for free. Make sure they pay you first.
What? Okay.
That's definitely wrong.
Fine. I just gotta get a Benjamin from him before I let him touch me, right?
A Benjamin? That's a little high for me.
That's not what I meant. I'm talking about Nagito. I mean, even if his right hand wasn't tied up, the knife was still stabbed into it, you know?
It's impossible to stab a knife into your right hand with your right hand.
Ah, that much is obvious.
Hajime, you tricked me! Give me back that Benjamin!
What Benjamin? Not only did she try to charge me, now she wants the money back.
Hold on. There should be a way.
Then hurry up and spill it.
If it's something lame, I'll make you give back the Benjamin with 10,000% interest.
You never paid me. I could get her to have like 5 of my babies, and somehow she'll think that that's normal. She makes Ibuki look smart. Monokuma panels would lead to him stabbing his own hand. Torture wounds, no. Knife. No. Maybe it's the plushie was bleeding and had a hole in it. I'm gonna go for it. Because I don't know how that plushie will even fit otherwise.
How could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air,
He just sounds so
and
confused
let the
at
knife
it.
fall, could he stab his
No.
hand that way?
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
That? Nice, alright. So he props the knife with the plushie and then...
The life-size Monokuma plushie. He must have used that to prop the knife.
Nah, never mind. Can I back out on that? Because that means he propped the knife up and then slammed his hand. I don't know about you guys, but I think this game's going a little bit too far with the visual here. Because...
Makes sense. That's why there was a big
No!
hole in the plushie's stomach.
That's fucked up, man!
He
Slam your
inserted
hand through the
handle
knife!
into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it. If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him. And it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie.
What kind of will do you have to just do that? It's a fucking combat knife, too. It's got ridges in it.
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
And if he did all this self-inflicted, he would have had to stab his arm and his legs first. He does all that, then he's like, you know, it's bonus time. Fuck him.
See.
Fuck him.
So that's the trick.
He's really devoted to just fucking with me.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something.
A bleeding plushie is super scary. It's got the same fear factor as a doll whose hair grows too long.
After stabbing his hand, he
All
no
right,
longer
sure.
needed the plushie, so he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
He probably thought the fire would incinerate it and destroy the evidence.
So what do you think now, Fuyuhiko?
I get what you're saying about the wound on his right hand, but there's still one huge problem. The spear. Basically, you're saying Nagito committed suicide by impaling himself with a spear, right? If you think about the order, getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito. If that's true, how is that possible? He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into it and his left hand was all tied up.
He let it drop from the top of the building. That's why there's a streak on one of the rafters.
Then he probably took the spear first, and as he endured the pain, he stabbed the knife into his right hand.
I don't really know how the blood gets on the wire, but whatever.
There is a limit to his constitution. If you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Excuse me? Excuse me. I'm starting to get a little hot in here. How about you, Soda? Oh, good. He is actually going to respond to that. Good.
Sorry, I didn't catch all that.
Like I said, if you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Ooh.
Say it one more time. I need to record it. For reasons.
Reasons?
Hey, bastard, you better cut it out.
Like she said, in that condition, it's very difficult to stab yourself with a spear. It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stab into your right hand while your left hand is tied up.
So you're saying it's impossible?
But no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else.
I also agree with that. To think that one of us could kill someone with such cruelty, I could never believe that.
You say you can't believe it? You just don't want to believe it, right? But that's why you keep getting betrayed over and over again, right? Same goes for this time, too.
You just shut your mouth. It's against
Ooh.
the rules to interfere with everyone.
Wow. Going in hard.
If you even think about doing anything, I have a plan of my own.
Monami sassing me!
But
He's so
it's
mad
just
about
as
it.
Monokuma said. We've been betrayed over and over again so far. So this might also be the same. Calling this a suicide takes too much for granted, and it's too convenient.
Then are you saying there is a killer among us, Kazuichi?
Of course that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
Of course.
As Kazuichi said, it's true we've been constantly betrayed. But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone. No matter how many times I may be betrayed, I still want to believe in everyone.
I also want to believe that there's no killer, but suicide is unimaginable.
I can imagine it. Like, it's stupid, but Danganronpa's also stupid, so it balances out.
Do you really think so?
But you said it too. It'd be impossible for him to stab himself with a spear in his condition.
I did say difficult, but I never said impossible.
I don't like her. She's way too good. Then I've clearly realized how much of a plot character she's become.
I feel that there's some way he could have stabbed himself with that spear.
What kind of way?
She's like a plot character without actually being a plot character. It's like she's the one character that's... It's like she's Nagito, only helpful and good. You know what? She's like Kyoko if Kyoko was a good character for the first 70% of Danganronpa 1. I'm sure that'll make people upset, but don't worry about it.
You don't know.
It's impossible to figure out by myself. So let's think about it together. That's how we made it this far up till now.
Everyone working together.
All right, let's do this.
We've used burned rope. Don't think that has to do with it. Duct tape, no. It's gotta be this. It's gotta be blood on the left hand.
Himself with a spear. Let's work together and think this through.
When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand.
He doesn't.
No, that's wrong. Hold on. It's still too early to dismiss the possibility that he used his left hand.
He probably gripped the wire of the spear, because his hand didn't have any blood on the palm.
Why? I mean, his left hand was tied up, you know?
But there was something off about his left hand. The bloodstain on the palm of his hand. Don't you think it looked somewhat strange?
Also, his complexion and just skin in general is just a nice, horrible gray.
He only had blood on the lower area of his palm.
Nothing
Beyond
hopeful about
point,
that.
The bloodstain suddenly cuts off, right?
When the blood splattered, that's as far as it reached, right?
That settles the description of that bloodstain, but it's not the only unnatural bloodstain. Look, there's blood on the back of his hand, around the middle joints of his fingers.
Like you said, it looks like an unnatural bloodstain, but what's wrong with that?
We might need to think and use our imaginations for a bit. If there's blood on his palm and the back of his hand, what was his left hand doing as the blood splattered?
It was gripping,
I see.
as said earlier.
When the blood splattered, he was probably gripping with his left hand. That's why there's such a strange-looking bloodstain on his palm and the back of his hand.
Was he grabbing his front tail?
Perish the thought! He was obviously grabbing the spear.
What's this have to do with Nagito's pee-pee?
Now that you mention it, compared to the rest of his body,
What the
the
fuck?
wounds on his left arm are pretty mild.
Oh, she's climbing up there in the
He
ranks.
probably made his wounds mild on purpose, so he could keep his strength while he gripped the spear.
But even if he held the spear with his tied-up left hand, it'd be impossible for him to stab himself.
Hey, Chiaki, what do you think?
Okay, so she's
Hey,
not thinking
don't
at
tell me
all.
you're getting sleepy.
Already?
Times like this, you should always strike from a good angle. Just like fixing an old TV.
Oh, I got it. Maybe.
You're always so not confident.
Really?
Yeah, like I thought. It's no mistake that Nagito was gripping the spear, I think. However, what's important is what section of the spear he was gripping.
The cord, as mentioned. I was like, where's the cord? Where's the cord? For some reason, I did not look at the bottom. I'm like, where is it? There we go.
I see.
He sees.
That's it. Instead of the handle, Nagito must have been holding on to the cord. There was a metal weight at the tip of the cord, but there were bloodstains on that part too. Plus, the joint between the weight and the cord had a bloodstain shaped like it was cut off by something.
Isn't the size of that cut-off section about the same size as a human fist?
Ah, you're right. So this is the part Nagito was gripping, huh?
So that's why there's a gap in the blood. Well, that explains the blood on it in general.
And then the blood that was supposed to end up here ended up getting on Nagito's left hand.
But why is it so important to know which part of the spear he was gripping?
You're not gonna say he gripped the tip of the cord, swung the spear around, and stabbed himself, right?
That is where the clue to solve this mystery resides. Right, Chiaki? I am sorry. Of course this mystery will not be solved that easily.
We've only been recording for a little over a half hour. We still have to do more.
It seems we are stuck. Shall we have tea time?
Sure.
At a time like this,
We shouldn't be drinking tea, woman.
how about we stick to the plan to think one step at a time instead of expecting the answers all at once?
That's a long plan name.
I get what you're saying, though. It's like, don't expect things to be solved with each new answer, which is what we've been typically trying to do, and just go through the motions. Ignore the whole big picture.
One step at a time? What does that mean?
Let's focus on the spear first. Namely, where it was and how it was positioned just before it impaled Nagito.
I feel like I should almost not explain when someone says something, because it's maybe good commentary, but they're gonna explain it anyway.
Position.
Whatever, it makes me look smart. Or at least not a baby. You know what I love? I love diving into logic because it allows me to turn into a ghost. Okay. Maybe if I use the power of the D-pad instead of the stick. Ah, the stick's more comfortable. Wank, 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 wank. See? What people don't know is when sometimes I make sound effects in sync with gameplay, it's really just a strategy to get me to be able to sync my video better. Doing stuff like wank wank is really just a way for me to go in editing and make sure that my video isn't desyncing. It's all a clever, evil strategy. I was also looking at my phone just now, so I got hit. They're like, yo, dum-dum, you should charge your phone. And I'm like, yo, no. Actually, my charger's over here, so I actually could. Fuck it, we'll wait until there's some dialogue. I'm terrible. At least I'm not taking calls in the recording, right? Be like, yo, what's up? Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Fred? What you want to do? Fucking... You want to hang out someday? Like, you know, see what's going on? Ceiling girder, by the way. He throws the spear up, and the cord essentially lands on top, and then the spear is hanging over him. So then if he lets go of the cord, the spear will fall on his chest. And given how tall the ceiling is, it should be high enough to strike him. Like a pee-pee, if we want to go with Sonia's analogy. Those things fucking juke me, these diamond things. I feel like I should give some, like, final thoughts here on the game. A little early. I feel like I'm not gonna have much time. This is one game I can't do final thoughts on as easily. I can't do final thoughts as easily in this game, so I'll say it here, and I might say it toward the end of the In Case 6, because I know that'll be the last one. This game's good. This game's good. I enjoy it. Mysteries are fun. The only negative I'd say is I didn't like the Funhouse case. But that's just preference on certain things. But that's really all you can get out of me from this game. It's weird, you know?
The spear impaled Nagito as he was laying face up. It must have been perpendicular to him just before that.
Perpendicular is a cool word. I'm charging my phone, one sec. We'll get off auto in a second.
If Nagito did that all by himself, did he have some sort of ESP?
That'd be
Oh, there we
awesome,
go. It's
but
working.
He'd probably use the ceiling girder directly above him.
Nagito probably slung the cord over the ceiling girder, and using that as a support. He hoisted the spear directly above him. And if Nagito let go of the cord, the spear would have fallen and impaled him while he was laying face up.
I noticed a slight red streak on the ceiling girder. It probably got smeared there during the setup.
Ew.
The blood on the cord probably rubbed off on the ceiling girder as the spear was falling. So, how about it? Using this method, Nagito could have impaled himself with the spear.
Are you serious? He really committed suicide? Like that?
He probably chose that spear so he could commit suicide like that. If someone else did this, there's no reason they'd go to all this trouble just to kill someone with a spear.
I agree. When I was investigating this case, I kept thinking over and over how strange it was. Why did the killer use the knife and the spear so differently?
So you're saying he needed to use that spear to pull off his trick?
This is still really stupid.
Then, this is for real?
But why would he try to commit suicide?
He really committed suicide?
Why? To be a dick?
Every single wound on his body. That was all him?
Oh my god. Look at how many stab wounds are on his legs. On this one here, like, clearly you can see, like, the ones that kind of look like T's are clearly, like, two on top of each other. So it's like, look at the left, his right leg, but left for us, the bottom one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I count 18, because I, like, clump some together. But it looks like almost 20 stabs to his thighs each. And then I'm sure his arm. And then puts a knife through his hand. And then waits to drop the spear. Are you fucking kidding me? I know he didn't care if he died or not. But I'm pretty sure when he said, come on, let me help you guys die. Let me help you guys get away with it. And then he'd come up with a plan that would lead to him dying in possibly a peaceful way and not in a bullshit way.
Not just that.
Sorry,
he
but
did all that while he was gripping a spear?
Oh, and he'd have to fucking hold the spear. No, don't show it!
Stab Nagito until the very end, which means
No,
Nagito
no,
would
I'm sorry.
Put the duct tape on his mouth too.
He probably covered his...
Did he need to go?
Yeah, so he couldn't scream. I'm just gonna move on, because that actually is kind of ooghing me out. I'm sorry. Fuck that.
By committing a suicide that looked like a murder,
I hate him
he was
so
trying to steer us
much.
toward the wrong answer. His goal was to get us all executed.
And that's why he stabbed himself over and over again?
Did he want us to die that bad?
What a fucking asshole!
That's messed up. That's seriously so messed up.
Yeah, that's our Nagito.
A messed up guy. But this isn't even over, though. Like, these cases have 2 parts, so he probably has something even more complicated in this bullshit. How stupid of me to feel sympathetic for him. I know, right? Nagito's terrible.
However, there is one thing I still do not understand. He said he would reveal the traitor, right? Whatever became of that?
He was probably planning to kill the traitor along with the rest of us.
So why did he not just do that in the first place? If he had no qualms with killing everyone, he did not have to cause a bomb scare to reveal the traitor.
I bet the bomb scare was part of the strategy behind this trick. He made us split up and search for a bomb so none of us would have an alibi. He created a scenario where any of us could have killed him.
He tried to make us doubt each other and tried to hide the truth behind his suicide.
Did he cause a bomb scare for that reason alone?
He's a fucking bastard who killed himself for his delusions of grandeur. It's not that unthinkable.
You are right, I suppose.
Yeah, it appears we've come to a conclusion. Bastard Nagito committed suicide. It was all done by him so he'd be executed.
That should be okay, right? Right?
Not right.
What? You're not satisfied yet?
I am satisfied, but I know we're not done.
No, I agree that Nagito killed himself, but I feel like there's something that doesn't make sense. It's probably just my imagination.
So what are you gonna do? Is it okay to proceed with the voting time?
No.
What do you think, Akane?
Well, there's no doubt Nagito's death was a suicide. Oh well, I guess my gut is wrong sometimes.
Then we're definitely not
You are
done.
right.
Your gut's always right.
It's not as though we can draw any other conclusion.
Then it's okay to end it here, huh? That means we're done with this last class trial and we can leave this island, right? It's okay to reach such a happy ending, right?
Then it's okay? It's okay to say, you've decided on the killer? Understood. Then voting time.
No, hold on a sec.
Hold on. Why?
Sorry, just a little more. I want you guys to wait just a little more. I can't help but feel like there's still something we overlooked.
Like who the traitor is?
But the issue here is who killed Nagito, right? Even if we identify the traitor, the conclusion won't change.
That's true, but...
The mystery isn't just about who the traitor is. No matter how you look at it, Nagito's death is a suicide. But... I'm a little worried, you know? I'm worried about starting the voting time while there's still a mystery.
Hey, what do you mean it's not about who the traitor is? What kind of mystery is left?
There's just one thing that doesn't make sense, and it relates to Nagito's death. Plus, it's something even Nagito couldn't influence. He couldn't even tamper with the evidence for it.
You're gonna keep going? Here I thought we were finally finished.
Nah, you know this thing. We have to solve every mystery surrounding the case first, and then we're done. That's how it's done. That's how Dad did it. That's how America does it. It's worked out pretty well so far. Something he could not have messed with. No, he could. All right, let's go with this. It could be this, actually. Let me see. Actually, let me read the file first. The victim was Asshole McAsshole. The body was discovered inside the warehouse. Estimated time of death was noon, so we know when he died. Not only is there a spear stabbed in his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. There's a laceration. But it doesn't say what the killing shot was. Is that it? Because he could determine the time. He set up, like, everything. Like, he scheduled the videos, so... Is it this, or is it another item?
I see!
Okay, that's it, then. It's gotta be the... It's gotta be the cause.
Monokuma file?
Yeah, that's it.
Huh? There was something suspicious in the Monokuma file?
It obviously means he maybe didn't die from the spear? Then how did he die? I know I've been on point, but I actually don't... Yeah, I'm not thinking it. No. Yeah, I'm not. Nothing's coming to me. It might just be because I'm hungry. Oh, cause of death. That's what they're wanting right now. Okay. Fuck, wrong one. Cause Need an F. Let's get these ready. Damn it, I hit the wrong button. I always end up hitting the shoot button. That is all on me. D. I need an E. Oh, let's get that ready. I need an A. Damn it, there goes those T's. Didn't want to do it like that. Oh, gotta get it. There we go. Still don't like this game. It's a little bit too long. It's somehow too complicated, I feel like, or too slow.
In this particular case's Monokuma file, there's no specific cause of death.
It's like, this improved Hangman's Gambit. Like, the first one, too easy, too straightforward, but I feel like that worked. And looking back on it of, yo, if you know the answer, shoot, and then you'll get it. But here, they've made it so complicated, but even if you know the answer, it's like, oh great, I have to wait a ridiculous amount of time. Like, I feel like it just takes way too long to get all the letters, even if you know. I don't know. I don't really have an answer for it. Of how it could be fixed, besides just going back to the old one.
Isn't that weird? Until now, the files always specified the cause of death.
But the cause of death is obvious, is it not? The spear in Nagito's stomach. It is obvious just by looking at it that it was the cause of death.
Yeah, well, it was obvious just by looking at it that Ibuki was hung. And that's pretty much the same thing. It pretty much looked obvious that Fat Byakuya was stabbed to death with a knife. It's like, just because it does, like, there's always a stupid trick to these cases.
Well, Monokuma?
I plead the fifth!
And that's the worst part. Fuck you, Bear.
There he goes again! I'm so appalled that I have nothing to say.
But even during Gundam's case, and before during Mikan's case, the thing he purposely omitted from the Monokuma file was always the most important mystery in the case.
Are you saying that applies this time too?
Hold on a sec. Then, are you saying there's more to Nagito's death? Are you suggesting, again, that his death wasn't a suicide?
You guys were the ones who said it was a suicide in the first place.
No, I don't think it's a mistake to call Nagito's death a suicide, but...
We have to look at all the options here.
It's not just a suicide. Come to think of it, did Nagito really commit suicide just to get us all killed?
Are you sticking up for him?
That's not what I meant. I mean it in a bad sense.
Bad sense?
I just remembered that his malice always defied our expectations, and that concerns me. For example, would that malice just end here?
Huh?
Did Nagito's malice drive him to risk his life for a truth we'd reach this easily? I mean, this is Nagito we're talking about, you know?
How interesting! You sure do believe in Nagito, huh? Because you believe in his malice, you continue to suspect his malice. I see. I guess that's what passes for friendship these days.
What friendship?
What should we do, you guys? Should we proceed with the vote?
Nope.
I think we should keep going until everyone is satisfied, even if it's just to be safe.
You are right. We only get one chance to vote after all.
Just to be safe, huh? Guess I have no choice. If that's the case, I'll do my best to go along with it.
This is friggin' annoying. But if you guys say you're doing it, there's no way I'm gonna back out.
He's like the guy where he's like, I don't like this, but I want to go with the group.
Hey, Monokuma. You heard us. The voting's gonna have to wait!
We've come this far. Let's work hard till the very end. If we work together, everything should be all right. That's what I believe.
Aww. Splendid. You guys are so splendid right now. That's right. If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you.
Is that it? Have we reached part 1's end? Yes, we have. Are they even going to do a thing? She's being so uncooperative with them now.
No, no!
Think about it rationally, there's no way it was going to happen. We haven't done this bit yet. Most of the players figured out that too. You're the only one who didn't know. Oh yeah. We never get along. Alright, you passed. Friendship's measured by how long you can stay in the silence when you're alone with someone else. What? Don't say dumb shit. I hate you so much right now. I don't have to be hated. Besides the fact you snap at me like that, I don't trust you. Distrusting your friend is much more shameful than being betrayed. What? Stop it! It's sad to live a life without friendship. That's even sadder than watching a high school rom-com full of guys. There may be demands for that. I totally took the man bait. Fuck you. See you in part 2.